Well, here we are. We are live. At least so it says.
It doesn't lie. It's never lied.
I think it's lying. I think everything's lying. I have severe trust issues right now.
I don't blame you.
They're developed trust issues.
Yeah, exactly. All right. For music lovers, here we go. Gonna click the intro.
Welcome to For Music Lovers Only, a podcast where each host makes a top 5 list of their favorite songs from this week's topic. Each week is a new topic. Tune in, I dare you. Music Lovers Only.
Bam. Here we are. Did you see that intro yet, James?
No, I hadn't. That was beautiful.
I rocked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Looking good. What is up, everybody? I'm Josh, JRB5. We got Coach Casey and Enoch. Enoch.
It gets to be a lot of fun trying to come up with a different name like each time.
Yeah, it gives you something to do.
There's
I'm trying to brand myself, so I'm
Right.
known as JRB5, the artist formerly known as JRB5. Someday.
Coach,
I watched
you
Purple
quite
Rain
well.
last night.
Yeah, no, I saw your late night Facebooks. It's a really good fucking movie record. I mean, the purple one was amazing.
I love the music, but the movie's not. I mean, I'm just like, God, it's pretty bad. It's kind of like Howard the Duck.
I watched that the other day too.
That's a great movie. There ain't nothing wrong with that movie. That's great. That was cinematography at its finest.
Yeah. What's
I
up,
got
Mr.
to,
Joshua Ricks from YouTube? Thanks for tuning in again. We've got on repeat, and it's just 3 music lovers today. Alex and Alex are having a date weekend, I think. I think she had the weekend off, and instead of choosing to come hang with us, he scooped her up and making her go have fun.
Right?
Jeez.
What kind of bullshit is that?
What is that? We're stuck here in these little boxes. We're stuck here, and they're having fun. I think comedy show.
Yeah, it is. They're not
Yeah.
even loving music right now.
I think there's a reggae fest. I think so. I think there's music loving going on. I think he went out and had date night with Mama, so I hope that's all going good. I mean, over there hoarding all the women, some of us can't get any, and he's got fucking 5 million, whatever. I couldn't do it, but more power to him. But yeah, this is episode 22. Bam. I added a little text line and the email page so people can call and text us and tell us we're canceled.
Yeah, you guys are dumb. Get off of here.
Yeah.
Nobody wants you around.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I stay.
Just out of spite.
A herpy on the face of the local scene.
Oh, it's great. It's
Hey,
great.
it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Right? Just when you think you're done with me, boop,
Nope, hop up.
Whoa.
There's a flare up.
an
Little
important
Enoch.
occasion. Here you are.
I had a little hate shed my way. I posted something promoting one of the podcasts last week, and it was a week-old fucking reel. And some Karen hops on there, and you need to trim your beard. It's not as cool as you think.
Did you see
Oh,
me?
I saw that.
You see me reply on there to her, and I said, I think it's pretty cool.
It wouldn't let
no
me.
shit.
It wouldn't let me see it. I think I don't know. I was ready. I was
gonna
ready
tell
for
her
a
she should
fight,
trim
but
her
I
face.
answered.
It's not as cool as she thinks, but that would be real mean.
Yeah, I answered tactfully, but I was ready for a fight.
That's the sad thing too about like social media is like you get a spicy opinion and then you block them.
Yeah,
And then they just run and they're saying all this stuff, but they don't even have the testicular fortitude to open the forum to being redressed.
The guy I do my podcast with, my co-host TJ, he doesn't like the criticism well. I don't mind it. If they watch long enough to criticize it, they watched. So I'm always like you, Josh. Thanks for watching. If you came out and watched my band play or whatever that is, and whether you like it or not, if you stayed for the show or you paid your ticket, thank you. He always wants to get on like, let's block him. I'm like, no, let me tactically mess with them. Let me say, hey, we posted something this week and somebody's like, oh, that's no Donald Trump. Well, obviously we have 250 followers. We didn't have Donald Trump, or whatever. It's like, I said, so sorry to disappoint,
Well, speaking of the Middle of the Road podcast.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Casey's, I've been on once now, and
you'll be on
come
again.
back whenever you want us.
Hell yeah.
It's
me and Alex found out something weird this week. We've been talking behind you. I know you created a page, but we created our own.
Well, he started Facebook back up again too. I was like,
we found out that we used to play Pee-wee football together back in the day. He played in El Dorado when I played for Rose Hill, and he said, "Man, I just can't get out looking familiar." And we synced up like 3 times that we know we were both somewhere and knew each other. We played at Shriners Bowl together back in the day. I used to be a stud football player. I told him until about 7th grade, and then I got into drugs and alcohol and girls and smoking, and then. Then
we met, and that's how.
Yeah, I was an average athlete the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know anybody else. I don't think there's no stories here that I've met anybody else besides you, obviously.
Yeah. Well, James he's been rocking out for a lifetime.
Yeah, at least
I met him a long time ago and didn't know it. I mean, nursing home raid panty.
Nursing home panty raid.
Yes. Yeah, we played several shows with them.
I thought that was just something you guys used to do in your spare time, so I was glad that you guys.
We used to be studs, We get into the drinking and the drugs and the old ladies.
The sequel to Animal House, after they get old. That scene is the greatest. Belushi up on the ladder.
The sad part is,
I mean, I don't condone people.
Continues, we'll be there. I only have to live 20 more years, and then that might be an interesting night out.
Yeah.
Call me.
I had another weird story. I was on the way to work. Tuesday. Monday just felt really weird. I woke up and it didn't even seem like reality. It was like an alternative realm. Just really annoyed. Everything annoyed me. Tuesday was a little less annoying, but I'm almost to work on Hydraulic and north of Lincoln, right? Put it in perspective for the locals here. Yeah. And this probably 40 something year old lady got the poorly dyed red hair, not the bright red hair like the young kids are getting, but like the grandma orangish red hair, and she's just storming down. In the car in front of me, she tries flagging down thumbing, getting a ride, and of course, they didn't stop. She's looking angry and yelling shit, and she smacks the back of the car. And then so I come, and she's like, almost hopping out in front of me. I'm swerving into the middle lane to get away from her, and she hits the back of my car. I couldn't hear what she was saying. And then the next car behind me, she's in the middle of the road, just like got her thumb out, like, stop. I'm like, I don't know what is going on. And it was a great morning up until then, and that was humorous. It didn't really annoy me. But I'm like, okay, there's people having a lot worse day than I am, so it kind of put the day in perspective. I'm like, I don't know what this lady is, and I ain't trying to find out. I don't know what's going on.
Go on a date, bud.
I mean,
yeah.
If she was younger and cuter, the thought would have crossed my mind, but I still would have drove on.
Lower your expectations.
It's the only way to get ahead, JRB5.
Lower your expectations, man.
I will stay in my modest, humble, low class. But yeah, drinking my apple
threes or
broken mug in honor of Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you guys.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
I'm drinking green tea.
I'm drinking water, and a lot of it.
But the question for today is going to be, what would be your theme song? Say pro wrestling, because they're the only people that have theme songs, really. But that was what I was kind of thinking of. what would be your theme song?
Oh, shit.
And your wrestling name. Ooh, spin. I didn't even think about it. I just spit that shit out. Now I'm like, fuck, I gotta think of it. JRB5.
There you go.
Brand
It's
myself.
not very intimidating. I'd probably just be Coach Casey. I mean, or if my wrestling name, or like Gigantor, but I'm just a little, I'm 5'10", 150 pounds, so it'd be even better. You come out there, I'd probably like have stilts or something, so I look bigger the first time I come out, and then they'll realize. Mine would be, and it was actually on my list, and it was going on my honorable mention. Mine would be Talking Head Psycho Killer would be my freaking walkout music, man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. That would be fun.
That would be intimidating.
I had a bunch of them. When I wanted to do MMA back in the day, I used to, as you're jamming, you're always trying to figure out, like, if I ever get big enough and I walk out to something, what would it be? And I was all over the board. There's some Johnny Cash I'd like to do, but you want something that pumps you up, or you want something that really messes with people. So I probably would have went with some Dido or something.
Yes.
Doing MMA, because that would really mess somebody up.
My tears don't come, I'm wondering why got out of
some
bed
Jewel.
at all.
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
or
some Poe, Angry Johnny. There we go.
Oh yeah, Poe would be good.
Yeah, or you
Sarah
can't
McLachlan.
talk to a psycho like a normal human being. Trigger Happy Jack. That'd be a good one.
That would be fun.
I would have wanted to be somebody that could actually play live for me if I ever got big enough. Like, like the biggest wrestlers and the biggest MMA guys or whatever, they'll actually have somebody that can play live. So I would want somebody that if I ever had like some fight in front of my hometown or whatever, they could come play live for me. So.
Well, I asked this question to our huge following on Facebook. It's so grand, but we appreciate all of you. Shooter says that Snuff would be his theme song. Slipknot, I assume.
A good one, I was gonna say.
Then Heather says Another Brick in the Wall Part 2.
Cool.
Old McBee says Sea Legs by Run the Jewels. And this one I had never heard it, but it's funny. Old Walt says NSFW by Psycho Stick. And the entire song is just fuck.
Okay, so I would want to come out to and I first became aware of this song on the new Pantera tour, but their entrance music, In Heaven Everything Is Fine. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's creepy as shit. And then for a wrestler name, I'd want it to be something like Bob. Like really ominous, and then it's just like, oh yeah, here's Bob.
Here's Bob. I had mine narrowed down to a few. Let's see. Oh, probably Ain't Got No Haters by Ice Cube.
He's on my list.
Yeah, that's a good one. Or No Vaseline.
Another great one. I'd probably do that if I was going to be a porn star.
Is there really a difference?
That's okay. True.
I mean, yeah, you're gonna lube up and go out there in your skivvies and
wrestle a dude.
Another man, yeah.
All right, that's true. I was gonna follow up with, especially if I ever did gay porn. So thank you. It pays better, I've heard.
Oh yeah, no. Pay is always proportionate to how much a job sucks.
How much I suck at a job. So
right.
Oh, wait. I forgot. We got into the thick of it all. Poor Ernie. He's very disappointed in our conversation, I guess.
I have a feeling I'm gonna get fucking Ernie pulled on me a lot.
But I think Great White Hype, you remember that? That was boxing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But I'd steal his name, Great White Hype. I thought that was always clever.
Could just be the Great White Josh.
I haven't thought about that movie for a while. That was a good one.
That was an awesome movie.
And play it
I
to
love
load.
it too because like it builds up and it builds up and it's a letdown.
Just like life.
Yeah, right. Why is it the movies are the most real or comedies?
Because I mean,
You have to be real because you have to be in a dark place to be a good comedian.
life is a tragic comedy, right? Is that what Edgar Allan Poe, I think, wasn't that Poe who kind of coined that saying?
That feels right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. We're 15 minutes in and we're on our own, so we better get to milking, I guess.
About music.
Yeah, I know. We'll get into it and we'll milk it. Go talk really slow. Really slow. Let's see who's gonna go first with their list.
We're gonna go around the room one at a time. We're doing the full list.
Let's we'll do the full list. I think it would be.
I thought you were trying to milk time. I was just trying to help you. No.
Well, I think but it would be for editing purposes. That would be a fucking nightmare.
All right, I got you.
Mr. Coach Casey.
Coach Casey, come on down.
All right. All my songs are by Britney Spears. And it's her.
Britney, bitch.
No. I have, mine was a pretty long list. And honestly, even as I started thinking about it, there's so much I probably even left off of it. So, but we'll start with my number 5 song. And this is a more new for me. But when I was running a couple years ago, I needed something to motivate me when I went and ran. And it's that Mongolian death metal band, that Yav Yav You or whatever that is, man. That freaking song, I would play it I would play it 40 times in a row and no shit. Or I ran a marathon with that song on repeat, or not a marathon, sorry, a 5K with that song on repeat and had my best time ever. It's just like put you in a zone, man. I don't know how to, and they've got another one that they do that also does that, but that song just puts me in a zone. So
isn't a 5K a marathon? I mean, what's
no 5K is like 2 point something or 3.2 miles. A marathon's like 25. The most I actually ever ran was a 10K, but that wasn't an official 10K, which is like 8 point something miles or 6 point something miles, so.
Man, I don't know. If you see me running, you better start running too, because there's something bad chasing me. Running has never been fun.
On our old show, me and the co-host got into we were both in our 220s at the time, and we got into this. We called it the race to 180, and I wanted to lose, and I like to eat, and I like to partake in other things that make you want to eat at the time, and so it was easier for me to just run, and I'd run 2.5 to 5 miles every single day, and it was hard at first, but then it was like if I didn't do it, it was miserable. And then my legs started going and my health started going. So I had to give it up. But I really enjoyed it. It was one of the best places to clear my head. And I got a lot going on up here. I promise you.
Yeah. You're a whole different breed of psychopath. People who run, nuts.
Actually,
run for fun.
I'll do like a 2-mile sprint on an elliptical or something because my knees are bad. But yeah, he's right, dude. It clears your head. It's a totally different kind of drug.
Yeah, it's that you get endorphins going and stuff, especially like when you're like out of it and you're dying or whatever. That's like when the best part of it kicks in, and it's hard to describe until you've done it. But you'll see people that do it that say they're never runners, and all of a sudden they understand it. So,
I think the last time I ran was high school baseball, and I remember. You were younger, so you weren't on the team, but I think that was your
senior year. I was a freshman on that team, buddy.
You were, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Who was it? Jaeger or me who puked? I can't remember. One of us puked.
There was a lot of people that puked going into baseball, especially if you didn't play basketball before because you were out of shape.
Yeah. And smoking and drinking and partying.
My number 4 also fits a time in my life, just partying and all that, and it goes back to your Ice Cube earlier, but it's West Side Connection, Bow Down.
Yeah.
Man, that song I could same thing. Like you just play it and put it in the CD player. I think I just had the three track disc at the time, and that was my song, and I just play that thing over and over and over. So, and also because in a part in there it says bow down, but my name fit in there to Casey Grunin because he's greater than you. So I would always sing that, and it always made me feel better. I'm like, man, I think they were doing this song for me.
How many times do you listen to that song, James?
Actually, never.
Man, rap was a big part of me growing up. I'm more alternative now, probably, and I still do some heavy metal and the old school rock, but I'm an alternative guy now. But man, growing up, I wanted to be a gangster,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's a small town thing. I don't know. I mean, Belle Plaine, we got a lot of Wichita rejects. Kids that got kicked out of Wichita schools for fighting and shit, and they'd come down there and think they're badass. And then Jesse was always kind of the designated putter in place. They'd think they're badass, and then they would meet the fist of our buddy Jesse, and he'd always, first or second day they're in town talking their shit. If they were cool, he'd leave them alone. But if they're in there talking, new school, going to come in and tell people how it is, they're getting put in place. And we got a lot of them.
I remember I moved to Belle Plaine in my 6th grade year, and I walked up to the very first day of school, and I said, "Who's the baddest dude in school?" And they said, "It's Ricky Ward." And he was like a year older than us. And at the time he was bigger than everybody and everything. And I just walked over and hit him in his mouth, and he was leaned over in that rail and went over the top of him. And I was like, I didn't want to get messed with. I had left the school before where I had to fight a lot, and I just didn't want to do it. So I figured if you just take the baddest dude out, nobody messes with you,
Yeah. Prison Rules. What was it?
Really good friends, man.
What was that movie with DJ?
I'm not sure what.
I remember The New Guy where they did that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good
He goes to prison, and then what's that?
See, I would have messed up in prison because I would have tried that and then just got my ass beat. My number 3, we're going to stay on my rap theme. I'm a huge Eminem fan, not just because he's a white rapper, but just because I felt like some of his pain came out in some of the crap I was saying, but it was Rap God, just because that song, freaking the flow in that song and the whole thing, he just tears it up. But really, I could have had 5 just Eminem songs if to be honest with you.
Yeah. Old school stuff. His new stuff, I'm not a big fan of.
Some of it I am, but yeah, I have this newest CD, I haven't even listened to be honest with you. A couple songs on it. He still flows like no other and writes like no other, but
I think the Kamikaze was just basically a diss album. And we talked a couple podcasts ago about the diss, and I love a good beef.
That one with him and Machine Gun Kelly is that one was on my repeat list for a while, just because, and I'd go back and forth to the Machine Gun Kelly one and then to his and then back and forth. And I never liked Machine Gun Kelly, but that's one song he kind of tore it up in too.
I've liked a lot of his stuff from the very beginning. It's sad that that's the way it was done purposely. They were in cahoots and they knew.
Oh, sure.
They were. Some of the beefs are good.
Eminem beats are always my favorite if we're going back to that show.
Yeah.
My number 2, he's like Eminem, but not. Well, I'll have to listen to him.
Yeah, NF's good. Thank you for tuning in, Bubble Staffy from Twitch. Staffy. Thank you.
We'll go my last rap one. Jay-Z, Do It Again. Put your hands up. You got 5 seconds to put your drinks down. That was another one when I had a system back in the day. That, man, I would just play that on repeat too. It was just something about the beats to that one and the whole feel of that song. So
I just feel like really outclassed because you guys are talking about rap, and my best, closest I came was MC Chris.
Well, don't feel outclassed. You're never going to be outclassed by a guy wearing a Britney bitch shirt. Just know that straight up, man.
Well, like I said, I can. Mine will make you level out. You'll feel way more manly after I go through my list. We'll put it that way, James.
I'm scared that I'm going to give you guys my list, and it's going to be like the Facebook warning. Are you doing okay?
You know? Well, you might have been. You should have been. See that you might have been the. Did you save up the sad songs from last week? Is that what drives you?
It's just where I'm at, like my headspace. It's all like sad sack of shit music.
Yeah.
Before I do my number one, I'm gonna do a couple of my honorable mentions. Limp Bizkit, Faith. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Limp Bizkit fan. Not maybe so much anymore, but I mean, I was even a chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water that started losing me. But I just a Limp Bizkit fan again. I think it's a small town thing and just something about them, man. It worked for me. Yeah. Dirty Heads, My Sweet Summer's Gone, and Vacation. Both were on my list. Adam Sandler, Piece of Shit Car.
Yes.
500 times in a row and not be down. And we used to do it between me and Josh driving to Arc City, or sometimes we'd just put that in and I would play that song over and over and over and over, man. And we knew every single word and every single break and every single, thing on that. And then I also had, I guess I did have one on honorable mention, but would be Eazy-E, Automobile. I think that was like, I found that in like 5th grade, and that was a song you weren't supposed to listen to. And if your mom or your parents ever heard you listen to, even my mom, who had a pretty open mind, would be like, get out, yeah. Get out.
Kind of like Too Short.
Yeah,
I listened to a lot of Too Short.
Me and Amy were talking Blowjob. I mean, there was a bunch of those too. Like I have Too Short still to this day. We'll go somewhere and that's on my list. And when the kids were with me, I used to have to skip past it. Now they're old enough I could make them listen to some Too Short.
Yeah.
My number one is Sublime, Smoke 2 Joints.
Oh yeah.
That song's never made me mad. It's never, even when I didn't, and when I'm not, like, that song's just a song that's just easy listening, easy playing. So
I like Sublime.
I do too. They got a lot of hate in the recent, but I was like I said, I'm an alternative music guy. I love Dirty Heads, Psycho Kill, or Talking Heads. I like Sublime. And then there's a bunch of obscure stuff, and old Jack White stuff, or that his old band. So I look for stuff that's kind of, I don't know, beaty or whatever, but doesn't make me angry, because I used to listen to all heavy metal and Slipknot and stuff and just wanted to fight all the time.
I don't get that, man. Like, it's never made me angry.
No.
I got it. That's why I said I know a guy I work with that he's into all the death metal and even like the devil type death metal, and he's not nothing like that. And he says the same thing. But if you got a personality that, like, it's the same reason why I don't drink tequila. I'm either effing or effing.
Right. No, that's fair. That's real.
And that's kind of what heavy metal does to me. It makes me want to F or F, and neither one of them work out.
A little too amped up.
Yeah. That was my list. I know it's going to be different than anybody else's, but that's, I think, why I'm here.
Yeah. That is exactly why. Yeah.
Exactly. Before we get too much further, we probably better give a shout out to Talking Beards Network. We've been broadcasting on there since 2021. Obviously not this podcast, because we're only on episode 22. But the Art Assault, the other podcast I do, we've been on there for going on our 3rd year. So good times. Big Sexy Beard Brand, they let us broadcast on their StreamYard. And some of the greatest facial hair products you could obtain. And I could save you 20%, JRB 520. BigSexyBeardBrand.com. I had to think about it. And you can find this on Spotify. The other podcast, once I figure out how to put the videos on there, I'll put the Art Assault on there. But the kind of reason I hadn't put Art Assault on there is because videos was not an option, or at least not to me right now. But yeah, so it's awesome. Get the formalities out of the way. I was going to ask you something, Casey, when you were talking, but I forgot. I was trying to be polite and have podcast etiquette and not talk over everything.
You were at my podcast, and that's not how it works with me.
Oh, well, I know, but Like I said, let's spin and see who goes next. How about that? Let's do that.
It's fit chance, Crüe.
I like this one better. Last week we didn't get any double
just hear my
names. We
kids
had like
screaming roar at each
7
other.
names on there. Casey, you got to come up with another 5.
I got 5 more if you want me to do it.
There we go. Yes.
I can finally do my Britney songs though.
Oh, Britney.
Moulin Rouge.
I don't think I could name 5 Britney songs.
Hit Me Baby One More Time.
James.
Hey. All right. So the 5 songs. Honorable mention I'm going to do first is the entirety of Dope Smoker by Sleep. I can listen to that song on loop. Just on loop. All 45 minutes of it. And then 45 more minutes of it. Hey, what's up, Britton? Oh. And here's my co-host.
I'm the co-host.
Okay, so on to the sad sack of shit songs. I'm going to go with number 5, This I Love by Guns N' Roses. It took me 14 years after they released Chinese Democracy to listen to it. Yeah. But once I did, like I lived in it for a week. And this song I
gave that one a chance. But we were listening to Don't Cry and Paradise City. That one still gets my blood flowing a little bit.
We can't be roaring.
We have a dinosaur loose in the studio.
No? Okay, then go back upstairs, guys.
I'm going to go back to play.
We're bored with you, Dad. You're being boring.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
And then another one that I found myself listening to a lot lately is Poppy, Concrete.
The band Poppy by Concrete.
Yes.
The song's Concrete.
The song's called Concrete.
I think I listened to some Poppy not too long ago. They may have a new album out.
I think they're coming close to it, yeah.
Is it a female singer?
It is.
Yes. Because
they did a bunch of creepy YouTube shit.
Yeah, I was surprised that I liked it because previously I've been in relationships, so I wasn't really into women yelling. I'd heard enough of it at home. I didn't enjoy it. And I don't have that anymore, so it kind of completed me a little bit.
Well, now go back around. Now go back and listen to some Janis Joplin. Maybe you'll be.
I love Janis.
Okay.
Dirty hippie.
Another lovely one is "Tonight" by Ozzy Osbourne.
Great song.
Especially at the end where Randy just goes off.
I can't place that one.
See, and that's going to be fun. Diary of a Madman.
Okay. That's a damn good album, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I started falling out of Ozzy love in the recent years, but then I listened to, Black Sabbath or go back and listen to some of his stuff, and then it makes me like him again. I just got to not watch him do anything other than rock and roll, and he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a very tragic meme today, too, where they were talking about how Ozzy looks like Danfor from Lord of the Rings. When you see Ozzy and he tells you should have died instead of Boromir. But, some of that early stuff, like, it's weird because everybody associates him with heavy metal, but he has a lot of really good ballads that he did.
Yeah.
That there's just kind of an emotion that I think people just wrote off that he could do. Like, even in the Black Sabbath days. Jonathan's Hope by Y would be another one I throw on repeat quite a bit.
Jonathan's Hope by Y.
I don't know that one.
Oh my goodness!
I'll go listen to him though. This is good for me because I'm so into the podcasting and talk radio and all that I don't do enough, especially Josh is my new music guy. Every time I see him put something out, I mean, that I just don't listen to enough new music.
That's where I get half of it.
Well, no, and why though, man? I think you're gonna dig it because it's like that nexus point of alternative and rap.
Okay,
like it lives in that like bridge, and that whole record is just solid. But
oh yeah, I'll check it out for sure, man. I'm always looking for something.
And then I guess my current theme song, and ever since I heard it, it's just really been on repeat. And it's not such a sad sack of shit song, but it's an anthem of optimism. Corrosion of Conformity's Leonard Skinner cover of On the Hunt.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good song, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
I felt bad. Even as I was going through, I didn't have any Leonard Skinner on, or I've got some ACD or not some ZZ Top honorable mention, but those are two bands that between my dad, I mean, those were the ones that my dad just stuck in my head and, never let go.
Well, it's one of those things like that song, man. It makes you want to take a shower and brush your teeth and put on good clothes and a cologne and then go someplace where there are women so that you can too be on the hunt.
Yeah. That's the hard part.
You got to go where they are.
Just listen to some Corrosion of last night.
Yes. They are awesome live. And Pepper's a really fucking nice guy. The last few times I've come to Wichita, I've gotten to sit down and chat with him.
Nice.
You got some honorable mentions?
Gosh. Okay, the Scorpions, Still Loving You. That's been on repeat lately. I love his voice. Klaus Means, whatever his name is.
I've heard a couple. I don't know that one, but I've heard definitely quite a bit of their stuff. And half of these I probably know. I just don't always know. You know what I mean?
The worst one, like when it gets on repeat for me, you can tell my mental health is failing, is Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
There you go.
When you willingly listen to that on repeat, somebody needs to bust in and like take you outside.
Yeah, but sometimes getting into the deeps or the feels is actually good for for your
you need to
mental state. Oh, for sure, man. For sure. What are some, do you have anything like when you were a kid or like the high school or something that was that thing that, when you were cruising from where to where or whatever, that was something that, because I kind of pick, when I do these, I always kind of pick through, not even what I have on repeat right now, but songs that in my life have been on repeat and I could go back and listen to on repeat at any time.
Yeah. I don't, man, that's weird because there's a lot of shit. Like I almost can't even remember some of it. Godhead was a big repeat for a while. The 2000 Years of Human Error was great.
Well, the thing about it is you forget about him, but then when you stumble across him again, it takes you back. I mean, you can smell it. You can taste that moment.
And you're young again. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what this last couple hours was for me, or last couple days. So, I guess yesterday Josh asked me to do it, but that was kind of what it was like, man, remembering that car ride to Arc City, or remembering that football trip, or that, whatever it was, or last week, the girl that broke my heart, or whatever,
Well, here's a good filler question I just thought of when you were talking about that. Do you remember the first time you drove over 100 miles an hour or rode, or in a vehicle, driving or riding? Do you remember that rush?
Oh, yeah.
I do, man. Mine was on Seneca, racing somebody back when we were cruising Seneca when I stole my dad's Camaro when he was out of town. I got pulled over and didn't even have keys for it because the ignition was broken, and tried to explain that to a cop that you did not steal this car. It is my dad's. The ignition's broken and I borrowed it. But
I had an 86 Oldsmobile Cutlass, and I buried the needle on a parallel road out by Andale.
Uh-huh.
Now, the first real fun one, though, was going over 100 on a motorcycle. That is a whole different feel.
Yeah, 80 is about where I topped out on a motorcycle. I couldn't.
Oh, fuck.
I did
80 with-
160 on a Hayabusa, and I've never got back on a Hayabusa. I got the one thing that I needed out of it, and other than that, that's why I went and bought a cruiser. And I'll occasionally touch 100 when we're going somewhere here and there. But now I'm kind of like Josh, like 80's pretty quick on a motorcycle.
Right? Yeah, no, like time is a different beast when you're like going in that sort of a vehicle.
Well, now me and Joe want a sidecar thanks to Skin Man. It's like,
hell yeah!
I've always wanted one, and I mean, that would be nice. That's where I'm at.
I'll have him take you for a ride in it, and you may rethink it. But
well, I don't want to ride in the sidecar.
Okay.
Joe's riding in the sidecar.
Okay, all right. We'll have her ride in it and see if she still wants it.
But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you a freaky sidecar story is we were riding with this guy that was handicapped. So his sidecar was set up as he could pull his wheelchair into the sidecar, lock it in. And all of his controls were over there. So imagine sitting on the bike side of that riding with somebody else in a sidecar driving. That was an experience like no other. That was like, man, I keep wanting to grab it when something's getting ready to happen, but there's nothing to grab. So you're at the mercy.
What's the ones with the two wheels in the front and the one in the back, the spiders? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Joe's seen one of those the other day, but I'm like, nah, I'd rather have a trike. Didn't your dad have a trike, Casey?
I got one right in the back shed, man. I got a trike with a 350, or right on this other side of this room, a trike with a 350 V8 on it, man. It used to be a two-wheeler. It got wrecked into, and then it turned into a three-wheeler. And that's one of my restoration dreams to get it back up on the road. So
nice. All right.
Well, I guess we don't need to spin for you.
I'm left ARB 5s.
We don't need to spin. It's funny how I do the spinner and I still end up going last.
Well, you save the best for last, or the last for last, whatever you want to say.
Well, I kind of took the last position, so because with more people here and more topics that could get crossed over, people were stealing stuff, and so I mean I took it last, and I mean.
That way you can sit there with a list and whittle down.
It's always good to be at the end of a train, not the beginning.
I figure since this is my shit show, I figure at least give everybody else the cushy jobs. But, okay, so now I got to put this in order. And I think my number 5 is going to be Jericho. The song is Jericho. I'm going to butcher this guy's name. Inikio. It's like Iniko. And on TikTok and stuff, the AI generators, they started using that song for that, but it's a beautiful song. I mean, it's the only one I like of hers. I've tried to listen to some more of her stuff, but it just doesn't grab me like that one does. It's like the first line is like, "Hi, I'm from outer space." I'm like, "Yep, I'm in love." She's got like this hippie vibe, you know. She's a got like dyed hair and just kind of like alien hippie vibe is what I get from her.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And it's new. It came out this year. That was gonna be on the new list because for two episodes now I've tried to do new music of 2023 since we're in June, the official halfway mark. But everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know new music," and I'm like, "Well, I didn't either." But I searched and I found at least 2 or 3 gems out of a day's worth of searching, and that's for me that's a good haul.
And it's going to be cool though. Anthrax and Cannibal Corpse are both releasing records, so I will be able to answer these questions eventually.
Eventually, we'll do a final. We'll wait till the end of the year, and then we'll do the entirety of the year.
There you go.
I think Alex was waiting on some stuff too. I think he said NoFX had a new album, didn't he, in the chat?
Yeah, that's what he said. So yeah, there's old bands releasing new music. So
I'm waiting for Rex and Effects to come out with something new.
That's another song I could sing every lyric from.
I like the way you make your booty stop.
Okay, so that was Jericho was my number 5. Number 4 is gonna be by Noah Cyrus, which is Miley Cyrus's little sister, which I didn't know she had a sister. I mean, could care less. But I had started talking to this gal, and kind of part of the courting ceremonies is talking music, because music is a big thing.
Okay, I thought it was like talking the Cyruses. I was scared for a second. Like, Josh, this is not going to end well.
Yeah, you have to talk to the Cyrus sisters, or we're not dating. That's just. I need you to follow them both.
But the question was, I mean, what's the most song that's touched you the most powerful, got you through whatever, your song on repeat, I think was the question that was asked. Yeah. And it was July by Noah Cyrus. And I mean, a week later, we made plans to have a Sunday lunch, and I got ghosted. I mean, we're still friends on Facebook, and she probably not watching, but hi, thanks for ghosting me. I mean, it's how it goes. It was fun while it lasted. I'm sure that was all about the time I got canceled, so I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Oh, yeah. No.
So, number 3. Oh.
I just looked up a picture of Noah Cyrus, too. I wish I could share it with you, Casey.
I'll look
it puts it all into perspective.
I mean, she's a cutie. This number 3 is going to be "Drown" by Front Porch Step. They are probably considered an emo band because, like I said, up until recently, I didn't realize I was an emo kid, but I'm an emo kid, I guess. And
it happens like the rest of us.
Yeah, I can't remember the line exactly, but he's like cursing the rain just for sprinkling instead of raining enough to drown him. And I feel that line, I mean, women have done a number on your faithful leader here, my friends.
Yeah, don't put too much into them. Put stuff into yourself, and then the right one will come along. It's the best thing I can say, bud.
Oh, I do. I mean, I do more recently now, but I fall in love way too fucking easy. I mean, I'm a hopeless romantic, I mean, I want that fucking stupid rom-com.
But you're looking for love in all the wrong places.
I'm not looking for it.
I think they're going to look at you funny if you continually put more things into you than you do them.
Yeah.
I don't look for it, but opportunities stumble across, and that's what happens. And that kind of ties into my honorable mention. I'm gonna wait. But number 2 would be from it was a theme song. That's how I first heard the song. I think it was 88 through 91. The show China Beach aired, and the lead gal, which I watched a bunch of, Dana Delancey. Oh, I had the smoking. That was a Jergens ward. It was it did things to me. I don't know why. I mean, she's just kind of a plain old
pitcher that year. A lot more arm strength.
She's just kind of a plain old Jane old gal. I mean, nothing too spectacular about it. And I kind of went back and read the premise of the series because, like I said, I haven't watched it since 1988, and but she's in love with a guy, another male doctor, or not another male, she's female.
I was gonna say,
I know. She's in love with a male doctor who's married. It's Vietnam era, and the song is Reflections, Diana Ross, The Supremes, and that just. Man, I stumbled across that the other day, and it took me so much back. I had to excuse myself for a minute. Like, I'll be right back. But she had a new series called Body of Proof, and that kind of invoked it all for me with her. I like her, but you can't see it on streaming because of copyrights for the music. That's why they don't stream it. Because I've looked, I've searched, I've tried to... even like pirated, I can't remember what I had some website, some app that you could, watch stuff on, anything that you couldn't find, but it was all free. It wasn't even on there.
You're gonna
You
have
need
to
to go
wait
to the dark web. It's all on the dark
It's
web.
all on the dark web.
You need to wait a little bit. I'm still doing the podcast, honey.
And my number one is probably every time. I mean, I can't get it. Like I said, I'm a James. I like listening to the sad shit because it kind of makes me feel like I'm not alone. But
Yep.
These days, Jackson Brown. Oh my God, word for word, kicks me in the nuts every time.
That's running against the wind for me.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. And I'm not a big Bob Seger fan. I like some of his songs.
Yeah. It's that song though. That's the one I like. That's it.
Yeah, mine's I was Tom Petty, and some of his stuff is if I go, we talked about a couple of them last week, but when I don't do a lot of sad music just because I got enough sad going on that I look for more upbeat stuff or whatever, but I definitely have some. I mean, some of my Dido and some of that stuff is where I would go, I guess, for that. But I don't do a ton of the sad stuff. I mean, I there's some songs I definitely do, but I got enough in my head that I need more motivation, positive.
See, it's weird. If I listen to upbeat shit, that's when I like fall apart.
Yeah,
okay.
That's
We're all
when like it just stops. It's like you and metal. You get angry when you listen to metal. I like mellow out. You're listening to upbeat shit, being happy, and that shit makes me want to slip my wrists.
I got you, man.
Yeah.
I got
And
you.
not even like, just trying to be cool. It's just like, I wish I knew what happiness was.
I think a lot of people know that. Most people just wear a mask of happiness, my friend. I mean, there are truly happy people, but happiness for me is family, friends, and that stuff, and knowing what is there.
I think I'm happy. I mean, it's life isn't sunshine and rainbows, and you kind of got to deal with that. But I live in my head,
right? Is that what they say?
I don't live. I live in a different reality, especially with my recent painting. I mean, I've got a whole backstory written, and I'm gonna type it up. I started this afternoon. I wrote the first chapter or the first paragraph of. But I'm gonna write a little bit.
Hell yeah!
And maybe that will make people more appealed. To have a story. But my honorable mention goes along with, like I said, I mean, always falling in love with the wrong one, always unavailable. Like I said, I mean, even old gal from the Noah Cyrus, I mean, she wasn't emotionally available. A lot of that, and some of it, I mean, with other people are not available shit. But I recently, in this, I Want You, Kiss. It came across on something, and that song just,
Dude.
I want you. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, and the way it even starts, in the morning I raise my head. That's a good one. No, that's a really good Kiss song.
I didn't like Kiss until Detroit Rock City, if I'm 100% honest with you. I
like the movie in the 90s or the song?
No, the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not. I was never anti-Kiss, but once that movie came out, it's like one, the movie was awesome, but two, really you have to listen to Kiss all the way through the movie, and then, like I said, I think that was just what are those weirdo freaks? I mean, it's the same with like Alice Cooper and some of them that I later on liked. They were just, what's wrong with them, and then I start realizing, oh, there's something wrong with me too. Maybe I don't wear makeup to cover it up. I just wear, I wear whatever my face is to cover it up.
Britney bitch shirt.
There you go. It's a freaking faux hawk. I mean,
but yeah, that's brilliant marketing though. Kiss has always, I mean, they are, in my opinion, the greatest, they nailed it. I mean, the Beatles did good, and I think they took it a step further.
Yeah, the Beatles,
they probably molded it off the Beatles, their pattern.
So that's what I think. Like back in the day, I mean, I was a Beatles, Doors, all that, and then it's just a different type of music. That's what I got into music for, and then so Kiss is just a lot different. It's like rock disco or whatever you want to. Don't you call it, or whatever,
Right.
But it was different, but then once you really start listening to it, it's damn good music. I mean, especially when I mean, obviously the Kiss Nation out there, if they're listening, I mean, no harm. I like them now. Don't you come after me. I've already got whatever the Kenny Chesney army coming after me for making
nice.
a couple comments, you know. So
There's really only one group of people you have to worry about pissing off.
Juggalos.
No, that's easy. If you just say woot woot, they have to stop what they're doing and respond.
All right,
it's easy to get out of that situation.
Okay, all right. What's the group?
I can't talk about it. They're watching.
Fight Club.
Oh. I'll disappear.
Yeah, that's good.
But
yeah, like I said, next week we won't have a podcast. I've got art shenanigans somewhere. I can't even remember at this current juncture.
That's exciting. I'm happy for you.
I know you got a kind of a busy schedule coming up next 2 months, right?
Yes, dude. July. I don't know where I will be at any time. I mean, I know where I'll be, but like it'll all be on the road, and we can't drink and drive, so I don't know if I'll get to tune in again.
Drink apple cider.
Yeah,
2 apple ciders.
A lot of apple cider. Yeah, no, it's going to be a fun. We're going down to Houston and Lawton and Oklahoma City and Denver.
Nice. Yeah, I got a Salina. I think next week is Oklahoma City.
Hell yeah, that'll be fun, man.
Ponca
That's a
City.
nice town. Ponca's cool too.
I got friends that live down there, so
I'd rather go to Ponca City than Oklahoma City, if I'm being honest with you.
yeah, closer. And
Tulsa would be last, but just if we're naming towns in Oklahoma, no.
If I have to go to Oklahoma, it's got to at least have a Whataburger. I'm sorry. I'm in that.
Our last Sunday we had Analea, a Nevada mathcore band.
Hell
Kevin threw your name out there as, you know, being badass because, you know, Terrence Severance is badass. And so they're going to link up. He might hit you up. But they were doing a show at Monica's house with Soprogenous. I always say it wrong first, so I have to say it in my head the wrong way.
I think I say it wrong too. I say Saprogenous.
That's what I say. Soprogenous, I think, is the proper, the way they say it.
And that's, they name themselves. They get to say it.
Yeah, but Analea, I interviewed the front man and guitarist, and that was a fun interview. And we talked about the mole people in Vegas and verified that they are true. They exist. They're really there.
There's a really popular porn star that's in their ranks. Or she was a porn star. Now she's in their ranks.
In the ranks of the mole people?
The mole people. Yep.
Yeah. I seen some documentary of a guy that went down there and spent a week down under there in the underground city or whatever. And that was trippy, man.
Well, like I said, this guy, he avoids it like the plague. But, you know, I mean, it's not any place he wants to hang out.
Right.
I've been to Vegas, and there's plenty of I've been to Vegas a lot in the recent couple of years. Not so much, I guess, in the last 2 years, but the 5 years prior, we used to have a little bit of a going to Vegas too much thing. And they would walk the streets at night occasionally, but only the leaders, you know, that were collecting or whatever you want to say. It's an odd place when you're there a lot. When you're there once, it's kind of like, oh, this is cool. You're there twice, man, this is still pretty cool. The third time you start seeing all of the other stuff.
Yeah. The lizards.
Yeah.
Lizard people. Well, all right, guys. Well, we're 2 minutes within an hour. We managed to bullshit for an hour almost here.
Yeah, I don't think we had a kill time. I think we had plenty to talk about.
Yeah.
I didn't get to my weight.
I didn't get to do another Ernie. We kept it pretty good. I was waiting for an Ernie.
I'm sorry. I slacked. And here I was proud like I pulled my own damn weight for once.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh, fuck.
You got judged. Don't you judge me.
Yeah.
Don't spit on my cupcake and tell me it's frosting.
But so we'll be on hiatus next week, and then we'll be back in some form. Like I said, I think it's going to get a little dicey with getting the original, the OGs back together in one setting. I think that'll be a freaking miracle. But
as long
as invite Casey on anytime he wants to come on.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I think Bryce will still be kind of a backup. He's always fun. He's got some shows coming up. I think Stephanie's painting there. B9 Magic. But all right. Well, you guys have a good night. What do you anybody got anything they want to plug before we get off here?
Listen to the middle of the road if you want. We have a good time. It's different, but we have a good time. I got a bunch of guests coming up over the next couple weeks. I got they just gave me a plug on their show last night, but the Three Wheel Bicycle Podcast guys out of Casper, Wyoming. I need to hook you up with him. He's a badass artist out of Wyoming. He does art, podcasting, all of that. Those guys kind of reached out to me wanting to do some collaboration stuff, so they're going to be on the show. And then I'm going to have Alex and his co-host on the show at some point.
Nice.
He's wanting to do something. And we've got a bunch of different guests lined up. We've got a couple guys coming back. So we're trying to do some different things with our show too. And like I said, it's different. We try to make you laugh. We try to make you smile. Sometimes we just make you shake your head. So whatever.
Yeah. We usually get a little more head shaking going on, but today was really PC. I had only one Jurgens reference.
I had more fun last night.
All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you in 2 weeks.